JavaScript has a built-in error object that has 6 different error values, and I'm sure you have seen some of these when you've pressed F12 and looked at your own errors. Syntax errors are very common. Another one that I typically see is a reference error. So number 3 and 4 are pretty common. Because they deal with typos and mismatched quotes and missing braces and all of that kind of stuff. So knowing what the different types of errors are is useful, not only for figuring out your own errors, but when you're writing code, you can actually throw these types of errors. So just instead of saying throw and then giving it your message, you can say throw new range error or throw new syntax error. Okay? And in this case, what it's actually checking is the range for wind. So if it's less than 0 or greater than 150, it is a range error. So we're throwing a new range error and giving it a message. For the temp, if it's greater than 150, that again is going to be a range error. And then we give a message that the temp has to be less than 150. So this program uses those errors. And then I have another example for you. And this example actually has something coded up in finally. So I'm going to submit this. This is an error condition. And you'll notice that we've got a reload button here. So what reload, how that gets displayed, that is what finally is doing. So if there is an error, so we go through the try block and there's an error condition, we come down and do the catch, then it automatically goes through the finally code and I get that little button. What's triggering errors? Well, first of all, if they don't pick any colors, okay, then we're getting a reference error. If they have to pick 3 colors. So if they don't pick all 3, then let's say they do 2, we're going to get an error. So if we only do this one and let's say this one. Okay, I didn't do all 3, so I still get a reference error. Okay, and then down here, if they, so number 1 and number 2 are going to be numbers. Just because we're selecting from the color picker, but this one is going to be a string. So if it's not a string, that is also an error condition. Okay, so this would be a type error, incorrect data supplied. Okay, then we come down here and it's only going to process this if everything is okay. If everything's okay, then it's actually going to show us what the choices were. Okay, so at this point, I still have an error. Let me pick a color here. At this point, everything should be okay. Whoop, let me try that again. Such lovely colors. Okay, and I've got my choices. Okay, so if you want more information on try, throw, catch, and finally, you can go to W3 Schools. You will be working with code where you have to incorporate that in. So you will be able to practice a little bit.